we are requesting you to all kindly mute the button of audio as well as video. All candidates, whatever your query, your question, kindly write on the chat session. Please don't on the mic, audio as well as video during the conference session. Kindly, this is the request. This is the mandatory clause. And still some candidates having that your mic as well as audio and video on, kindly mute the button of audio as well as video. So definitely within the very short period of time we will start.
No, could be better. Sorry. Good morning, everyone.
Welcome to this international e-conference, Pharmaceutical Care Management Prospective of COVID-19 Pandemic, organized by the Rayat-Bahra University. Kindly, this is the request to the all participants. Kindly mute the audio as well as the video button. And just we are going to start the international e-conference. So welcome to all of you, all of the delegates, all of the, you can see speakers, students, research scholars. So ladies and gentlemen, this is a mandatory condition. Kindly switch the audio as well as video button. If you have any query and you want to ask the question from the speaker, kindly chat the in the chat session, write the name with the name and whatever your query, and write the query so that we solve your query. Kindly don't on the kindly mic. Please mute the mic as well as audio and video button. Kindly. So this is the initiative collaboration, and we are organizing International E-Conference 2020, that pharmaceutical care and management perspective of COVID-19 pandemic, organized by University School of Pharmaceutical Science, Rayat-Bahra University, in collaboration with the APTI Punjab branch. So kindly all candidate, again, that is a request to the all candidate, whatever they join, and we are broadcasting this conference. So kindly you can also inform to other one, and the two YouTube channel, we have already sent the link of the YouTube channel, official YouTube channel of the Rayat-Bahra University and Bahra University Shimla, that YouTube channel, as well as the LinkedIn channel. This the session already live on that particular channel. You can if you are unable to connect via GoToMeeting app, you can go via YouTube channel, and you can see that all the live sessions of this international e-conference. Here again, request to the all candidate, kindly mute the mic as well as mic and video, audio and video button. This is the mandatory for all the participants. Thank you very much. I hope you are listening my voice. My voice is audible to all of you, and we are welcoming to all of you at this international e-conference. I hope everyone that you can see. Kindly you can chat that if my voice is audible to all of you. Kindly.
Your voice is audible.
Okay, that's great. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thanks for the response. So now just you can see start the conference. We are waiting, and maintain the decorum. Request. Kindly maintain the decorum. And this conference, very eminent personalities that you can see professors, Honorable Professor B. Sir, President, Pharmacy Council of India, and other personalities, Professor Sailendra Saraf, Vice President, Pharmacy Council of India, and that is Chairperson, former Chairperson, Dr. Raibarinder Singh, Punjab University, Chandigarh. So, lot of other eminent personalities already will join this conference. Kindly maintain the decorum and mute the audio as well as video button. So that lot of eminent personalities are coming. Like we have that sessions with the preside over Honorable prestigious guest Professor B. Sir, President Pharmacy Council of India. Our chief guest, Inspector Process Industry, Vice President Pharmacy Council of India, guest of honor, Professor Raibarinder Singh, and others eminent speakers for the full sessions. And kindly.
अरे में
Dear all participants, we have the Honorable Chancellor Sir Sardar Raibarinder Singh Bahra, Rayat-Bahra University. We have worthy Vice Chancellor Professor Diljit Singh, Vice Chancellor Rayat-Bahra University. We have that already joined that Dr. Goel, President APTI Punjab branch, and Professor at Punjabi University Patiala. Kindly, I request to the worthy Vice Chancellor, please open the, you can see that, sir, camera, so that we can see your snap, sir. So this international, all candidates, welcome to this international e-conference. Within the very short 1 or 2 minutes, we are that our guest is already joined. dear all participants, we are going, I hope you are listening my voice, that we all, you can see, welcome to all of you at this international e-conference. My dear candidate, that coronavirus is a big challenge for the society worldwide. To face the great challenge of this COVID-19 pandemic condition, that pharmaceutical research and the scientists, research and healthcare profession must work together and share the views.
This conference will now be recorded.
Now, dear all participants, to share the new ideologies, in the possible pharmaceutical care, preventive measure, perspective, global challenge, safety, drug safety assessment, role of pharmacy professions, and pharmaceutical view inside the management of COVID-19 pandemic. The University School of Pharmaceutical Science, Rayat-Bahra University, is organizing that international e-conference on the topic, on the theme that pharmaceutical care and management perspective of COVID-19 pandemic. So the main aim of this e-conference is to bring together leading a physician, academician, scientist, pharmacologist, researcher, healthcare professions, and pharmaceutical industry via online platform to exchange and share recent research experience and idea about the COVID-19 pandemic, approach to the pharmacy student, scholar, research, as well as the faculty. So the delegates will be able to understand that how the science and technology and drug discovery and drug therapy are difficult to manage and treat immediate new interventions or new challenge like COVID-19, thereby providing new opportunity and challenge both to the scientists as well as medical practitioners. So, organizing committee that is confident that all participants will definitely benefit from this high value scientific program, that we welcome all the researchers, all the students, all the delegates, all the faculty members, and all the throughout the India as well as the abroad. This conference is organized by University School of Pharmaceutical Science in the collaboration with APTI Punjab, official Punjab branch. And my dears, this conference having the 4 sessions, that the 4 scientific session. One is the we are going to start the inaugural session, followed by the scientific session. And in each day, I most probably 9:30 to 12:30, as well as the 2 p.m. to the 4:30 p.m. So I hope everybody, my voice is audible to all of you. Yes, we have Professor Suresh and co-convener of this. Welcome, sir. I have already President of APTI Punjab branch, Professor R.K. Goyal, sir. And welcome to this conference. We are having that. Kindly other delegates, Mr. Dinesh, kindly request to all of you, kindly switch off the. We have Honorable Vardi Vice Chancellor, sir, and welcome to this, sir. Sir, my voice is audible, sir. Vardi Vice Chancellor, sir. Vardi Vice Chancellor, sir, my voice is audible, sir.
Yes, I can listen to you, Dr. Gurfateh.
Thank you very much. Dr. Sir, can I call maybe our chief guest the join the conference, sir? May you allow, sir? May you allow me, sir?
Again, please.
Sir, can you call the Professor B. Suresh, sir, preside over as well chief guest to this conference, sir?
Dr. Gurfateh, I think our Honorable Chancellor, Sir Raibarinder Singh Baraji is also online. Could you please contact?
Right, sir, right. Within 1 minute, sir, kindly. So we have, sir, I think that online, we have the APTI officials online, sir, already online. Sir, welcome, sir. We have the already online Vardi Honorable Professor B. Suresh, President, Pharmacy Council of India. Thank you very much, sir. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Sir, we have that our worthy Vice Chancellor, Professor Daljit Singh, sir, already online, sir. And our Chancellor, sir, I think, hope they are already online, sir. Sir, kindly online, kind. Sir, kindly 1 minute. Thank you, sir. Sir, thank you very much, sir. Honorable President, Pharmacy Council of India, Professor B. Suresh, sir, already online. And sir is listening. Sir, my voice is audible, sir.
Yes, Dr. Gurfateh, your voice is audible, but I wish to welcome Dr. Suresh. Can I see his picture? I can't see his picture here on the screen.
Sir, picture is already Professor B. Suresh, sir, already online. That picture I request to the Professor B. Suresh, sir, kindly on the camera. And we have that other eminent personality, Professor Srindra Sraf, already online, sir. Vice President, Pharmacy Council of India. Kindly please on the camera. And other dignitaries, Professor Raibarinder Singh is already online. Please kindly on the camera. And our Honorable Chancellor, Sir Sardar Gurvinder Singh Barai, already online. Please kindly on the camera. And our worthy Vice Chancellor, Professor Daljit Singh, sir, already online. And APTI President, Dr. R.K. Goyal, sir, already online. Sir, camera is on. Professor Sindra Sraf, sir, welcome. Welcome to this international e-conference, sir. Sir, online already. Sir, Professor worthy Vice Chancellor, sir. So
Yes.
Now, sir, already all the personalities, eminents already online. Honorable Chancellor, sir, Sardar Gurvinder Singh Barai, already online. And Professor B. Suresh, sir, President, Pharmacy Council of India, already online. And Professor Shalindra Sraf, Vice President, sir, online. Professor Binder Singh Bhoop, kindly request to kindly on the camera, sir. Professor Binder Singh Bhoop, sir, guest of honor of this session.
Yes, I'm already online.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Sir, I request to the Honorable worthy Vice Chancellor, sir, Rayat-Bahra University, Professor Daljit Singh, sir, kindly welcome our eminent personality, sir. Kindly, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Gurfateh. Good morning to all of you. First of all, I hope all of you are well and safe, and your families are also safe in this unprecedented time of COVID-19. Let us all join to pray for the well-being and safety of the whole humanity on this universe. Now, it is my great privilege to extend heartiest welcome to all the dignitaries and delegates to this 2 days E-Conference, International E-Conference 2020 on Pharmaceutical Care and Management for Perspective of COVID-19 Pandemic. This conference is being organized by our Rayat-Bahra University School of Pharmaceutical Sciences in collaboration with APTI. Our Rayat-Bahra University was established in the year 2014. However, our group Rayat-Bahra group of education institutions was started in 2001. So having almost 20 years experience in the education sector, our Honorable Chancellor Sir Gurfateh Singh Baharaji has established 2 universities, one in Punjab, that is our own Rayat-Bahra University, and one in Himachal Pradesh, which is known as Bahra University, Vaknagar. Besides this, he has also successfully established 5 campuses in Punjab, Haryana, and other states. In our Rayat-Bahra University, we have 20 schools under different faculties like engineering, pharmacy, law, management, education, sciences, social sciences, hotel management, physiotherapy, media studies, etc. Besides this, we have the Rayat-Bahra Dental College as well as Rayat-Bahra Nursing College. I take this privilege to be present to welcome the dignitaries in this inaugural session. Basically, the main aim of the International E-Conference, which we are going to have in these 2 days, is to bring together leading physicians, academics, scientists, pharmacologists, researchers, healthcare professionals, and other all services in this field. The interdisciplinary approach can break down the barriers between the different fields of pharmaceutical research in allopathic as well as other disciplines. To share the new ideology in possible pharmaceutical care, preventive measures global-wise, we are expecting that this conference is going to be very beneficial to all the stakeholders. Let me have the privilege to introduce and welcome our today's guest dignitaries, you can say the renowned personalities in the field of pharmaceutical sciences. We have today Dr. B. Suresh, who is going to preside over this whole conference inaugural session. Dr. Suresh is the president of the Pharmacy Council of India. He is a renowned personality in his own field. He also served as co-chancellor ASS Academy of Higher Education and Research. I welcome that, sir, on behalf of the RBU family, on behalf of our Honorable Chancellor, Sir Gurfateh Singh, members, students, and staff. I also take the privilege to welcome Professor Shailendra Saraf, Vice President, Pharmacy Council of India, Dean, Faculty of Technology, and ex-Director, University Institute of Pharmacy, Pandit Ravi Shankar Shukla, University, Raipur. Dr. Sir, I welcome on behalf of all of us. We are really grateful to be the chief guest today in this inaugural section of the conference.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
I also take the privilege to welcome Professor Raibarinder Singh, who is former chairman and Dean, University Institute of Pharmaceutical Sciences, Coordinator, National UGC Center for Excellence, Nanobiotech Medicine, Punjab University, Chandigarh. So it is my great privilege that today all of us are together, and I'm also grateful to Mr. Jesh Kumar Goel from Department of Pharmaceutical Sciences and Dean Research, Punjabi University, Patiala. It is all with the collaboration of all of you, sir, that it becomes possible for our Rayat-Bahra University to organize this, I think, the first E-conference at international level on such an important topic. We are very much aware that the whole world, because this pandemic is not has happened ever in the history of you can say the humankind. Earlier there used to be some sort of diseases confined to some areas, some states, some countries, but this COVID-19 spread to almost every country of the world. The whole world is in lockdown. Now, at this stage, if I will say that there are only two things which can prove very, very effective. हम अगर सोचते हैं तो एक तो दुआ होती है, एक दवाई होती है, as well as the medicine. And prayer everybody is doing. As far as the medicine is concerned, it lies in the hands of the pharmaceutical companies or the doctors or the scientists. So we pray to Almighty that at the earliest possible, anyone from any state of the world, new medicine, any kind of new injection for the treatment of this COVID-19, so that the humanity can be saved at the earliest. With these words, once again, I welcome Dr. Suresh, Dr. Shilinder ji, Bhupinder ji, as well as Rajesh Kumar ji. And in the end, I must acknowledge contribution made by our faculty members, headed by Dr. Gurfateh Singh, Dr. B. Ravinder, as well as all other faculty members and students of our pharmaceutical sciences who have really organized, who have international E-conference for the first time. I also want to thank the team members which is working behind the scenes for making this conference possible. Thank you very much and welcome all of you again. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for the Vice Chancellor, sir. There is an important announcement for all. Kindly all participants mute the audio as well as the video, but except the officials. Except the official. This is a request to all of you participants. So now I would like to request, sir, Professor Rajesh Goyal, sir, President APTI, kindly share the introduction about the International E-Conference. Now I hand over to the Dr. Rajesh Goyal, sir, APTI President.
Dr. Gurfateh, please allow me to share the screen.
Thank you.
Allow me to share the screen.
Thank you very much. Yes, sir. Kindly wait first. Share the slide, sir.
Everyone to please put off the mic. Thank you very much, Dr. Gurfateh, for giving the opportunity and collaborating with us to host this E-conference on the theme Pharmaceutical Care and Management. Welcome the two stalwarts of Pharmacy Council of India, our great professors, Professor B. Suresh and Professor Shilinder ji, for accepting our request and be with us on the inaugural session. And I also I'm thankful to Dr. V.S. Bhoop, the charming teacher to us, to be here with us on this particular day. This conference, as Gurfateh told, was planned a few days back, maybe a week ago. We started doing this planning, and we thought that the pharmaceutical care and management should be the appropriate theme for this conference, because recently we have seen that with the efforts of Professor B. Suresh, we have been able to figure out in the nationally as the COVID-19 warriors. PCI has recently assured that we will be providing the services of all the pharmacists as health workers in case COVID-19 cases rise alarmingly. So with this, if you see in the government website, the pharmacists are listed as one of the COVID warriors, and the number is too large. It is 11,25,222. These are the number of pharmacists which are available for the care of the patients. This is one of the photographs of a fellow pharmacist who is diligently working and dedicatedly working to mitigate this disaster pandemic of COVID-19. So about this conference, there's nothing much, but we are trying to sensitize the students of pharmacy to evolve and contribute in a meaningful way to the management of COVID-19 pandemic, assessing the innovating efforts made by people from different domains. As we know, in this in this time of difficulty, many people evolved and there is a lot of innovation. For example, the best example is the ventilator. The ventilator was evolved to be very cheap and effective, and one ventilator is sufficient for taking care of many patients at a time. So third aim is to appraise and applaud the pharmacists working in the field, off the field, for mitigating this pandemic. So in the field, we have shown the picture that many pharmacists are working in the field to take care of patients, giving a pharmaceutical care plan. And many people are working in the delivery of vaccines and diagnostic procedures for the effective diagnosis and treatment of COVID-19, coronavirus infection. So this is one side which I'm just showing you, that this is a brief pharmaceutical care plan which is available in different developed countries, whereby the medical workers and certificate of illness and patient population and general public, these are given different tasks. They are having different, you can say, motives to have holistic care. So they participate in multidisciplinary consultation, for example, medical workers, and they monitor and report adverse drug reactions. They develop individualized pharmaceutical care plans for the patient. Whereas the severity of illness we have talked about, the mild patients pay attention only for the medication safety which they are taking. For the severe patient, we have to pay attention to potential drug-induced risk, because the new drugs which are given to them, which are off-label, they have to be taken care that they should not go for any. For example, recently the hydroxychloroquine was announced to be a very good drug for prevention of later on, there was a limit that they should not be used without proper medical care, medical supervision. So similar things are coming up for the drugs which are available. As we know, we have a specific drug for COVID-19 and there's no vaccine. We are trying to have use the template drugs which were developed during the previous SARS COVID-1 infection and MERS, Middle East respiratory syndrome infection. So confirmed case, pay attention to medical safety. In case patient population, suspect case, pay attention to potential drug-induced risk. And in the close context, explain the prevention and control strategies to psychological counseling along with this. So for the general public, the pharmaceutical care plan is popularize COVID-19 prevention and control knowledge, pharmaceutical care online. So this is what is the pharmaceutical care plan, which is this. But I will ask the students to listen carefully to the magnificent or many, say, versatile speakers which we have arranged for this particular conference. They will be speaking on different horizons of pharmaceutical care, and you can evolve and develop a better strategy. So this challenge is to you, can develop a better strategy for mitigating this COVID-19. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Goel sir. So now we have the eminent personality, Honorable Professor B. Shrey sir, President Pharmacy Council of India, and he also served as the Pro Chancellor, SS Academy, High Academy, and Research Karnataka. He has actively involvement in the uplifting standards of the pharmacy education profession in India for the past more than 30 years. He is the chairman, sir, in the scientific body of Indian Pharmacopoeia Commission, which is responsible for setting of the standard pharmaceutical substance as well as formulation. Dr. Sir, the past president of Indian Pharmaceutical Association, is the member of the Drug Technical Advisory Board, National Board Accreditation, National Committee for Clinical Establishment Committee for the Control and Supervision of Experimental of Animals. That's why he pointed that cause of the standards on the pharmaceutical substance formulation. He pointed the cause of promoting pharmacy practice and concept in India as the unique honors of having introduced the postgraduate program in pharmacy practice and PharmaD program in India, and continue to serve to uplift the facets of pharmacy profession by closely working with the other global leaders. Dr. Shrees is also delegate member of the United States Pharmacopoeia Commission. Sir, welcome, and it is my proud and it is my honor to invite you kindly. You can pulse of knowledge, pulse of wisdom. Kindly share the thoughts with the students. Your thoughts are welcome, sir. Kindly share the pulse of words, sir. Kindly.
Thank you very much,
Professor.
Gurfateh Singh. I thank the leadership of the Raibarinder University for inviting me. I hope you are able to hear me clearly. Is that okay? My voice is okay? Are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
Are you able? Just hold on, I'm trying to join to another connection.
Yes, sir. I am the system.
Okay, I'm back now here. Sorry for the interruption. I hope now you are able to hear me and see me there. Is that fine? Hello? Are you able to hear me? Dr. Steve, we are able to hear you.
Sir, you are
Okay.
able to us, please. Please continue with your questions.
Am I audible and everybody is able to hear? Is that okay? Just one hour audible.
Yes, sir. Everything is okay.
Okay, now can you give me a screen sharing, please?
Right, sir? You can share the screen. The third button is the screen sharing. Kindly click on the third button.
Now you are able to see my screen also.
Yes, sir.
Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, sir. We are able to see your screen, sir.
Hello?
Kindly.
Yes, sir.
Okay, then let me proceed. Yeah. So thank you very much to Rayat-Bahra University and the leadership there. I would like to acknowledge here Sri Gurfateh Singh Bharaji, the Honorable Chancellor of Rayat-Bahra University, and my colleague and colleague Vice Chancellor, Professor Daljit Singh, Rayat-Bahra University, and Gurfateh Singh, our good friend from the pharmaceutical field, and APTI Punjab branch, and particularly Goyal, my good friend once again. I would like to acknowledge here. And of course, my friend and colleague and very good leader, Dr. Sharaf is also with me here on this platform. So nice to have you here, Sharaf. I'm sure you supplement whatever I left out in your talk. I also would like to acknowledge here my university, that is the JS Academy, and the Pharmacy Council of India for all their wonderful support they give me in the various initiatives. And I would like to definitely acknowledge here the various scientists, warriors, because everybody talks about one who is providing healthcare as a warrior, but those who are behind the scenes and working, not many acknowledge that. Today, there is a big battery of scientists across the world who are working on this. So my acknowledgement to all those great scientists who are behind the scenes, toiling day and night, finding a cure for COVID-19. And I would also like to acknowledge here the Indian pharmaceutical industry that is striving to make this possible. Because today the whole world is looking at India as a choice for medicines. Now, having acknowledged, let me go with the talk. So when I received the invitation from Gurfateh Singh, I was a little bit of I will not say confused, I was a little concerned that whether I should speak about the cure or about the care. So these are two different things. I think we should look at it in that perspective. The role of pharmacists can be there in both the areas. One is searching for the cure, and another is providing care. So what I would like to do now is to try to talk a bit more about cure rather than the care, because it becomes an entirely different ball game. What care the pharmacists need to be giving to the patient is entirely a different role to be done. Maybe that itself is an independent thing. So I just try to tweak the topic as COVID-19 pandemic, the clinical management and cure, so that we are a little focused on what we are going to mention here. Now, moving on, you can see in the search for the right care on the cure, the world is still struggling. Nothing is very clearly visible to the health professionals or to the various governments and organizations which are struggling. Whether it is regarding development of vaccine or using of anti-malarial or antiviral or plasma therapy, this is still continuously a process of discussion that is happening in the world. So we do not have exactly a very clear picture on how one should move forward, both whether it is the management or whether it is the cure. Both one is struggling at this present stage. Now, if you look at the cure itself, because I do not want to get into management of care or providing care, because if you look at the clinical management, it is not our role. And our role is to more look at the care at the medicine level or at the drug level, which has to go, or at the discovery of the drug levels. Now, the clinical management, there is entirely the government of India has given a different guidelines, how it should be done. We would be looking at those options a little bit later. But when you look at the cure itself, we have got these choice of cures in front of us. We have the anti-malarials, chloroquine and hydroxychloroquine. We have the antiviral drugs. We have vaccines. We have immunoglobulins. Then there is a convalescent plasma therapy. Then stem cell therapy, that is monoclonal. And traditional medicines, that is Ayush, Chinese, dietary. These are all the different areas in which the cure can be looked for the thing. Now let us look at what the world is telling about it. See, one of the best hospitals in the United States, which is known for its one of the wonderful care, is the Mayo Clinic. Now, if you go to the Mayo Clinic website and see, they are very clearly mentioning currently no medication is recommended to treat COVID-19 and no cure is available. This is a simple, clean, factual statement they are making, that there is no cure available and there is no medicine available to, no recommended medicine for that. Then they are telling that antibiotics aren't effective against viral infections such as COVID-19. Researchers are testing a variety of possible treatments. So this is the present status, even the words one of the best hospital is trying to communicate to its patients. This is open on the website, so it is there. And then they are telling US FDA has recommended a couple of anti-malarial drugs, and remdesivir has been approved for use when it is required under consultation with the trials. So this is what they are telling in the Mayo Clinic. Now, if you look at the further in the WHO website itself, again, they are not very specifically telling that the cure is available, care is available, what should be done. They are just putting various factual information that do vaccines against pneumonia protect you against new coronavirus. They say no. Now, spraying or introducing bleach or any other substance on your body will not protect you against the coronavirus. Taking pepper or soup is not going to help you. There are no current drugs available licensed for preventing corona. And antibiotics effective in preventing treatment or new coronavirus, they said no. So like even WHO is not very specifically telling you all that there is a cure or care available for that, we have to do it. Now, if you go to the treatment in the US FDA website and see, what does US FDA say? Again, the US FDA tells us there are no drugs, therapeutics or vaccines yet approved to be specifically treat, cure or prevent COVID-19. There are options from enrolling to clinical trials, that anybody who wants to get a care, they can enroll into clinical trials and get the benefit of any of the new investigational products that are being there by the various biopharmaceutical companies. And again, they come back to anti-malarial drugs, and then they themselves have issued a notice in April trying to tell about the risk which is associated by using hydroxychloroquine. And similarly, if you look at the antiviral drugs, they have given emergency use authorization to allow remdesivir to be used in certain patients with severe COVID-19. Other antivirals also are being studied for their efficacy. So this is the picture in the US FDA. Now, if you come to the National Center for Biotechnology Information, NIH, why I am trying to show you is I'm showing you three of the largest or more important organizations in the United States and their perspective about cure, and how we have to look in that perspective and work. We cannot have our own way of telling, yeah, we can do this, we achieve this, because it doesn't go in the direction which we are looking at, and doesn't help us in proceeding with the research which we are looking for. Now, coming to the NCBI of the NIH, it again talks of different therapies and also comes back to hydroxychloroquine, remdesivir and other investigation that is happening. They are also talking about the preclinical studies carried out in some of the countries, and it also talks about the monoclonal substances which are being developed in Italy and being used, and also the use of tocilizumab as of the monoclonal antibody which has been developed in Italy for the process. So these steps are what is happening even at the NCBI at the NIH. Now, if you move forward to the British Medical Journal, which is one of the very standards which every medical professional follows, they have highlighted what are the best practices that can be done. They say again, they have put remdesivir as the first choice there, and they are telling a novel investigational intravenous nucleoside analog with broad antiviral activity shows its in vitro activity. So they are talking here, it is there, it's in vitro activity is there, but clinical trials are ongoing. If you look at chloroquine and hydroxychloroquine, they again say they have in vitro activity, but we have to really look at how high, only at the very high potency. Now, if you look at lopinavir and ritonavir, again, they are talking about the same way if you look at the best practices. Then they speak about the convalescent plasma, stem cell therapy, intravenous immunoglobulin. So these are all the options that are available to us. And again, they talk of cytokine release syndrome and how the treatments that can affect that can help. And there are other therapies such as angiotensin 2 receptor antagonists, vitamin D, vitamin C, traditional Chinese medicines. These are all being tried is what the British Medical Journal has highlighted in its best practices. Now coming to Government of India, they have given this specific guideline for the clinicians that give supplemental oxygen therapy immediately to patients with SARI and respiratory distress. Use conservative fluid management. Give empiric antimicrobials to treat all clinical pathogens. Do not routinely give systemic corticosteroids. Then they go on to say, try to do clinical management more than the drug-related management. And if it is inevitable, you have to speak to the patients and family early on and inform the implications. And they also have given a guidance on how to manage hypoxemic respiratory failure and ARDS and also management of septic shock. So we are talking of how to manage at a situation where corona has already impacted the person. Now, of course, they also give specific therapy. They are telling there are no specific antivirals. So even the Government of India is telling there is no specific antivirals, but they are talking again of the same thing, hydroxychloroquine being useful, but be careful. The cardiovascular implications are there. And again, remdesivir is one of the choices which is before us. Now, if you move on, the Ayush Ministry is also talking about various options that is available. They are telling, take Chyawanprash 10 grams every day in the morning, drink herbal tea with these things. So these are some of the traditional therapies which are being told. And the Ayush Ministry is talking about immunity promoting measures that can be done. So it cannot be really beneficial from the point of a cure, but as a prophylactic, one individual can start looking at it as to build an immunity building process. But it is no guarantee that this is going to help you fight the corona virus if you are infected. So if you look at these options, again, if you look at the research which is being promoted by Ayush, they are talking about this just very recent. Now they have cleared that study of Ayurvedic formulations, that is Ashwagandha, Yashimatatu, Guruchi Pipli, and Ayush 64 to be used against the battle against COVID-19. And they also talk about using this either during intervention in the quarantine period will be coupled with the lab-based research. That means if a patient is there in quarantine and if he is willing to undergo a trial along with these medications, they will be supplemented along with the other care. So the traditional medical practitioners are also advised to follow ICMR norms and register for the clinical trial registry if they are conducting clinical trials in the Ayush area. So this is the progress that has happened. I'm sorry, this slide is little jumbled. I had used this slide in the couple of days before because this slide is projected on iPad because my other device due to internet poor connectivity is not able to hold. So that's why it is jumbled a bit. So here what I am trying to convey in this slide is that there are few pharma industries in India which are working towards developing a vaccine. Globally, there are a lot of steps being taken by the various countries to develop the cure or care for the corona treatment. There are a lot of universities which are associated in the process of development of these drugs and care. Now, here I look at it that even the Indian pharma industry have looked at international organization or international university to partner to deliver the outcome which we are looking at. This is in case of what you call as a development of vaccine. So maybe we can still accept our universities are not ready in the biotechnology or biological drug development area and they can collaborate. But what about the other drugs? We talk of hydroxychloroquine or we talk of remdesivir, which we are talking. What type of information and data do we have as a Indian academia to share with the industry, telling that them to go forward and move forward? So I thought I should emphasize it's time for Indian academia to what they call as pull their socks up, focus on what they would like to do, and how do we move forward. And one of the suggestions that I have is that the faculty need to understand what is doable. instead of just simply looking at, I want to do this, I want to achieve this. We cannot get into every area and try to prove that we are able to achieve. Now, we can as academia play different roles. Somebody can play an advisory role, advising patients, care and other things to the patients and try to create an awareness among the people. The other role is like Goyal mentioned and also Gurfateh mentioned, development of some of the technology-based devices that may be helpful. The third part is, of course, the development of a cure that is drug or vaccine-based, or it may be even natural product-based. But when we are talking like that, we should not jump to conclusions, because when the whole world is moving towards, struggling towards this, we cannot expect it Monday in one lab by doing one test. We can claim a global claim that, yeah, we have achieved this. This should not be the approach. There should be concerted approach. There should be collaboration, and people will have to work together to achieve this goal is what I would like to say. And I am very glad that the Rayat-Bahra University has arranged this program. And I also would like to mention here that no research is ever quite complete. It is the glory of the good bit of work that it opens the way for something still better. And this repeatedly leads to its own eclipse. So till you find the good drug or the right drug for the particular cure which we are looking at, research is a continuous process. So we cannot say we have come to a conclusion that yes, we have achieved the thing. Even if you look at ranitidine, which was once considered as one of the very safe H2 blocking drugs to be used for various medical care, was withdrawn after several years of use. So it led to its own eclipse, and now again people are looking for a newer role and work for that. So this is the situation. So I would congratulate once again the university for organizing this event, and I would like to wish this meet all success. And I've seen the scientific program which is laid out, which is with a lot of speakers speaking about the various type of cures that which can be attempted or looked into. I think one or two speakers also are speaking about herbal medicines being used for this purpose. And I'm sure it's all a good beginning. I want the teachers to continue to dialogue, continue to collaborate, and try to see how we can work together to achieve this thing. Thank you very much for inviting. I congratulate once again the university and its leadership for organizing this meet. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Very nice speech and words, sir. Thank you very much, sir. So now I would like to request Professor Shalendra Sraf, sir. He having the 27 year of experience in teaching and 20 year research in 13 year of research guidance, 20 year of administrator experience, including the active association with the National Statutory and Accreditation Councils body like University Grant Commission. Dr. Saab, Professor Shalendra Sraf, Vice President, Pharmacy Council of India. And sir is the leading scientist and well-known academician in the field of pharmaceutical science. He holds the position of Director, University Institute of Pharmacy and Dean Faculty of Technology, Pandit Ravi Shankar Shukla University, Raipur. Professor Sraf has over the 20 years of such experience at UG and PG level, and sir have over more than 133 publications to his graduate public in international. The Association of Pharmaceutical Teacher of India, Chhattisgarh State Branch, and founder president of Indian Pharmaceutical Association, Chhattisgarh State Branch. His research interest extend from the herbal cosmetics to herbal drug standardization, modern analytical techniques, and new drug delivery system with biotechnology basis. Dr. Sraf, sir, kindly, I would like to request you kindly share the pulse of wisdoms with our participants? Kindly, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Professor Singh, sir.
Am I audible?
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Gurfateh, for nice words. So, Honorable Chairperson of today's inaugural function, Professor B. Suresh, the Pharmacy Council of India, Honorable Chancellor, Dr. Gurfateh Singh Baharaji, Vice Chancellor, Dr. Daljeet Singh, and special guest, Dr. Convener of this seminar, Dr. Gurfateh Singh, leadership of, and most important, the leadership of APTI Punjab branch. But at the same time, my personal friends, Dr. Rajesh Goyal, Dr. Suresh, Gulshan Bansal, then Ashish Baldi and all that. And most important, the delegates and young budding pharmacists of the country. My greetings to one and all on this very warm morning. And I would like to place on record my compliments to Rayat-Bahra University for initiatives taking some initiatives. Though the university is only 6-year-old and institution is 60-year-old, they are in the peak of their age as well as peak of their activity also. So my compliments, and particularly selecting the befitting topic of pharmaceutical care and management in post-corona pandemic. What I would like to say about this particular seminar, I am placing on record the compliment to the organizer. At the same time, it's my duty to place on record my condolences to one of the stalwart we have lost recently from this season, Professor Harkishan Singh. And we can say one of the Indian English phrases goes like, dying of an old man is laborious at fire. I think this phrase is very befitting tribute and homage to Harkishan Singh. We have to remember him and the path shown by him. At the same time, when Gurfateh Singh called me for this seminar, so it was just like thrown deep, diving in the memory lane, and which recalls everything of IPC 2017. And really, I learned a lot and a lot of memories and good friends, and I cherish all of those for my lifetime. At the same time, friends, when you talk about the sharing the platform with Dr. Suresh, so it always gives a mixed feeling. And although this is a feast, this is a feed and food for thoughts while you are listening, but at the same time, it's very difficult when you have to speak after Dr. Suresh, because there's nothing is left. Still, I am making my efforts with the blessings of Dr. Suresh. Sir, we are living in a totally changed world. Everything is changed. The definition, the phrase is everything is changed and we have to survive. We have recently come out of the one most important pandemic of pharmacy education. So I would like to congratulate all of you. Now Pharmacy Council of India will regulate pharma academics, and whatever crisis due to coupling with the ICT and we can say conflict between two organizations, whatever we have suffered, we have to recover with the support of one and all in years to come. As far as this, we can say time is concerned, it brought a lot of opportunities also. Because nobody was aware of what is the contribution of pharmacists in this country. And the narratives fixed by others were not suiting with the respect and recognition of the pharmacists. But this particular pandemic has given us an opportunity to redefine the narratives. In South Africa, this is a saying, until the lion tells his own story, the history of hunting will always glorify the hunting. So this was the case. Now this is liability with all of us, it's a responsibility with all of us to redefine our role in the society and give the real narrative in the society. Because News are coming, pouring in from different corners. We are just coming with the different medicines. Yesterday only, the Russian government has said the 5-FAP is they are testing and they found good results, which is repurposing drug. The US FDA is also giving, as Dr. Suresh has mentioned, the use of emergency medicines, but no conclusion so far. Lot of lines are there as far as the immunization is concerned, but long way to go. But this one thing is very clear, and this recalls me one of the important TED talks given by Bill Gates in 2015. He's mentioned the world is not prepared for the pandemic. That is available on website. He has mentioned, he has given a beautiful comparison. He has compared the influenza virus with the cloud out of this explosion of nuclear weapon. And he clearly mentioned this was the basis of Bill Gates. These type of pandemics are coming, but we failed. There was no protection, there was no alarm, and there was no emergency warning. What we have to do, whatever preparedness and whatever readiness we are tackling with all such things. Still, we are doing good. We are happy that we are doing something good, and particularly as far as the pharmacy is concerned, we have really won the respect in the society. We have aged in different areas, different we can say sectors during this pandemic, but still there are certain areas where we have a long way to go. As far as this pandemic is concerned, and if you talk about the people here after the pandemic, so we have to really think about the different aspects, and I have identified 11 such verticals for the care, and 12th vertical I have considered as an academic role of the academics, teachers, and this research fraternity working in academic institutions. So I'm not going into very detail, but the things I have identified goes like this: availability and dispensing of medicines. We have shown we have a lot of capabilities and competence to make the drugs available and affordable. And particularly for the first time, there is no report, not even a single report from any corner of in the country as far as the dispensing or any ill practice concerned where pharmacists involved. So all the pharmacists deserve compliment. I salute all of them. They are doing the extraordinarily good, and we could manage without any preparedness. We have just transformed ourselves. We have raised to the occasion, and we have delivered. But at the same time, there is a need to have to consider certain other we can say aspects. One most important, because being a pharmacist and sitting in the dispensary or a medical store, they are more prone to the infections. So this is the need of the hour to redefine the we can say layout of the dispensaries. And this we have to educate, because this is we have to learn to live with such type of infection and pandemics. So we have to educate, we have to do the capacity building of the pharmacists, and at the same time we have to do some policy vision also regarding as far as the layouts and dispensing methods concerned. There is need to educate the public to avoid physical contact, adopt AI and other platforms, online practices, to take the better help of pharmacists, avoiding the exposures to the infections and all that. As far as patient counseling is concerned, unfortunately, this is not prevailing in our country in a big way. But thanks to the Pharmacy Council of India, and particularly Dr. Suresh, for bringing formally to this nation. Because why criticized by several we can say visionaries also. But we are realizing this is the need of the hour, because pharma industry is at present in the world is most technology-driven industry where human intervention is minimum. So whatever the scope is there, this is there in the bedside cleaning and clinical side and patient care. So we have to again rethink about our approach, and we have to educate our pharmacists so that they can treat such type of pandemics. They should have certain some certain techniques to act during the emergency as well. These type of things are not included in any syllabus, but we have to think about these things, and over our syllabus we have to include all such things. As far as affordability of medicine is concerned, we have set the standards before the world. And there are certain government agencies, schemes also central government like this Jan Aushadhi and Arogya Yojana. So we have aligned all our activities into those lines, but at the same time, we have to think about the adoption of such practices and while you are working at different places, facets of the pharmacy profession. Supply chain again is an important thing, which is really we have observed. There was no cash flow, there was no connectivity, but still we could manage this particular supply chain of the important goods. But most alarming is we are still depending upon the API, though there has been a clear-cut directives and initiative by the central government. So they are promoting this API production in a big way, and in years to come, we must be self-dependent in API. So this is an issue where we have to work, and even institutions should take a lead in such area. And if they are able to get the cost-effective solution for the production of API, it must be a big contribution. Data management and patient record management is also need of the hour. Because if we have very rugged system of management of the data and information of the patient, so it will help the data patients as well. At the same time, it must be helpful for the forecasting of the availability of drugs, supply chain, and all other things. And manufacturing aspect, we are self-sufficient in the drugs, but this is only one aspect. We have seen even common masks were not available initially. Now we have again developed the competence, but we have to we can understand the problems, foresee the problems in years to come. Because most of the country has a lot of inventory of the nuclear weapons. But what is the preparedness for that? So we should have some type of personalized healthcare protection systems, and this manufacturing is we cannot ignore it. We have to integrate with pharmacy education and pharmacy practice, and we have to play a vital role in the manufacturing of such articles also. And there is need to have import, export, and transport issues. We have faced, because of whatever pharmaceutical industry I mentioned, they have paid extraordinary costs during this period, and logistics was really a problem. So there is need to undertake this type of concept to have free flow of the availability of the drugs and availability of raw material if we want to have the continuous production society. And trained and qualified manpower, as Dr. Goyal also mentioned, this is the old data available with the Pharmacy Council of India. Roughly, we have mentioned 12 lakhs registered pharmacists, but if it is revised, it must be more than 50 lakhs. But friends, one more important thing is we have a huge manpower studying in the academic institution. More than 5 to 6 lakh students are already registered in the pharmacy institutions. So this is the responsibility of the academia to take the help of those volunteers and train them so that they can give the awareness in society and we can better utilize this manpower. Then there are regulatory issues in the country, though this time the regulatory framework is responding very fast, but still there is a need to have push, because this we can take an advantage to again initiate the clinical trials in this country. Because more than 50% clinical trials are carried out in America. And those who are deprived from clinical trials, they are going to court. They want to take help of those research drugs. But the concept of over-regulation in this country, we have missed this bus and we have lost this opportunity to have clinical trials in this country in a big way. But still, we have to rethink, we have to give the advocacy, we have to give our advices so that we can have, again, this clinical trials in this country. And most important, where we can contribute in a big way is concurrent R&D research projects. So if we are able to give solutions to society, we must, because what we are observed, you talk about 9 leads in the immunization, or we can say development of vaccines, and you talk about the repurposing drug and new drugs. Each and every proposal is, we can say, aspect is supported by one or the other university. We also want the same environment. There's need to have a capacity building in this country. If there is any problem in the society, so they should obviously look towards the institutions. And being a healthcare professional and healthcare profession, this is the responsibility of all of us, the stakeholders in pharmacy institution, to have this capacity to give this solution to society. I can give you a simple example. When these ventilators were installed in different parts of the world, the trained manpower was not there. So University like Oxford and Cambridge, they are offering free of cost courses for the online simulated method for the training of those ventilators and all that. So this type of capacity is required from our side also. Though we have acted positively, most of the institutions without any circular, without any initiative, prepared the sanitizers, distributed. They have educated the society also. What we have observed, there is overload of the information. There are two groups. There is a lot of problem. Fear psychosis is there in the society. There are two groups. One group which is suffered just because of over information, and there is another who is not fluent with standard languages. They are not having proper information. So there is a need to give information to those who can go through with the English, and those who are not fluent with English and Hindi. So we have to educate them with the local languages. There we can play our roles. So as I've always mentioned, as the respect is never demanded, this is commanded. So this time the opportunity was given to us, and we can say we have commanded the respect. And for all of those things, what is required, in my opinion, before conclude, I should say, we should have an aptitude of entrepreneur. And what is the meaning of entrepreneur for me is you should have a willingness and this dare to take risk without the fear of failure. If you have entrepreneurship skills, whether you're a teacher, a student, or you're management, if you have this type of entrepreneurial skill, I'm sure the time of it must be very good. We will command the respect as at least in the healthcare system, and we have to ensure that we are big in number. At the same time, we are competent workforce, we are trained workforce, and we are working for the well-being of the society. So I would like to place the record the contribution of Rayat-Bahra University Organizing Committee and APTI Punjab branch for initiating activity during this tough time. And I wish all the success for this event. And I am also thankful for giving me this opportunity to speak, to connect online with all my fellow foreigners in the country. And I salute once again all warriors, even mentioned, there are different other warriors. The most important warriors for me is those who are staying inside their house. So thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. And I will spend a pleasure to visit Chandigarh after this pandemic. IPC 2070 with my friends, old friend Goel Saab, Ansar Saab, Suresh, and Aruna Saab. So I'm looking forward to have a personal meeting after this pandemic. And meanwhile, I'm wishing all the very success. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay blessed. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Saraf sir. It is honor and it's a great word, sir. It is great thought discussion. Thank you very much, sir. So now, Professor Raibarinder Singh, guest of honor globally, and for his scientific research work, especially on systemic development of novel and nanostructured drug delivery systems. And Professor Bhup sir, former chairman, Dean University of Pharmaceutical Science, Coordinator, National UGC Center of Excellence, Nano Biomedicines, Punjab University, Chandigarh. Professor Bhup, having the more than 37-year experience, and Professor Bhup has credits over 375 original publication, 15 books by prestigious international publisher, and 69 book chapters. A widely traveled scientist, he has delivered more than 310 plenary and keynote invited talks in India and overseas, including USA, Canada, UK, etc. Dr. Saab is a very dynamic professor. He got the various numerous awards, the Educate Award and Pharma Awards, and various Shiksha Ratna Puskars, Innovative Scientist Award 2012, and Dr. Saab, they're the Global QBD Excellence Award in 2019, 21 times facilitated by the PR University Syndicate and many more. Thank you, Dr. Saab. And I would like to request our Professor Boob sir, kindly share the words, kindly pulse our words, share with the audience and participants. Thank you very much. Kindly, Professor Boob sir.
Thank you so much, Dr. Gurfateh. Am I audible?
Yes,
Am I audible?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah. Thank you, Dr. Gurfateh Singh. And I must take this opportunity of thanking Mr. Rayat-Bahra and Professor Diljit Singh, the Chancellor and the Vice Chancellor of Rayat-Bahra University, and of course Dr. Gurfateh Singh and Dr. Rajesh Goyal for providing me this opportunity to speak on this e-platform, on this webinar, and on a very, very contemporary and timely topic, that's COVID-19, coronavirus, which everybody is talking about, which everybody is concerned across the world, as Professor B. Suresh earlier talked about, and the Chancellor also, Vice Chancellor also talked about. So such a pandemic, what to talk of hearing in our lifetime, we haven't heard the history of humankind so far. The last pandemic, which we, severe pandemic, which we hear was Spanish flu 100 years back, but it is much more, much more rigorous than that, and much more virulent and much more contagious than that, and organizing such a conference involving stalwarts and legends like Professor B. Suresh and Professor Straff and many other speakers from the area, it's a really commendable and welcome task. And I consider myself quite proud and privileged of having been invited over here. In fact, as Professor Straff has already put in, that it's very difficult to speak after Professor B. Suresh, and how difficult it will be to speak for me after B. Suresh and Shailendra Saraf both, and of course my Aziz Dr. Rajesh Goyal. So nothing probably has been left for me to summarize, but I'll put it in a different perspective. For the young participants over here, majority of which I personally feel would constitute the audience today, COVID-19 or SARS-CoV-2 or coronavirus. What coronaviruses are? There are so many, but this is one such coronavirus. Is certainly this outbreak is a pandemic across the world, no doubt. And it's making us sit home. It's making this possible international or national conference into being converted into a webinar kind. So we are concerned about this epidemic, undoubtedly. But along with this challenge, this there are lists of opportunities. Along with this melody, there are so many remedies associated as well. And we, the Indian citizens, have been known for our optimistic and positive approach. So whatever Mother Nature has assigned today, should be considered as an opportunity to be self-reliant, self-independent, and we have to carry out our SWOT analysis today. Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, and we can weigh ourselves and we can improve a lot in this direction. Already, Honorable Prime Minister, a couple of days back, shared. This is a proud moment for every pharmaceutical scientist who's listening and who's not listening. That he told that practically India has become the pharmacy of the entire world. It was pharmacy of the entire world. It is pharmacy of the entire world, and it will eventually remain as the pharmacy of the entire world, as nearly 40% of the North American consumption is from India, and nearly 15% of the across global, consumption of pharmaceuticals is being exported from your own country. You should feel, we all should feel proud of the pharmaceutical scene of this country. And besides that, in the current era, and not only, in the volume of the production, but in the quality of the produce as well, Indian drugs and pharmaceuticals and the products and the vaccines are being relied upon from a quality and cost point of view. And you see, in terms of volume, we may be fourth biggest producer of the generic formulations. But in terms of, cost, we are 11th or 10th because our cost is not very prohibitive. It's very competitive in comparison to the countries who are our competitors, as far as the global production is concerned. So inherent in this problem is a challenge, is an opportunity for us for encashing, for our pharmaceutical scene to encash, despite the situation being a little difficult and challengeable. But, we can now become, once again, become the global leader, and we have proved our, drugs are being exported to nearly, 180 countries, and we have been talking. The earlier speakers had also been talking. There are so many, approaches to take care of COVID-19. Let me share with the young fellows that there is no such treatment to COVID-19. There is no such treatment to coronaviruses in general. There is no such treatment to viruses in general. We know, we the pharma, who else would know it better than us that viruses are neither are living or are not a non-living substance, or in other words, it's a living as well as non-living substance. Within the cell, it tends to act like a living, subject. Otherwise, outside, it is that virion is an RNA or DNA strand covered with a protein sheath. So it's a non-living thing. So let's understand it better to make others understand. So since it is a dead substance when it comes to combating it, so there cannot be a virucidal drug. There has not been a virucidal drug discovered so far, and there will not be a virucidal drug. But the drugs which have been explored till date are virustatic. Whether it is anti-HIV drugs, for the retroviral drugs for HIV and other infections, or whether it is remdesivir, which was proposed for other Ebola kind of viruses, but and have shown promise in case of COVID. But these are again virustatic drugs. So a multifactorial approach has to be adopted. Say, involving such drugs, drugs like antimalarial drugs like hydroxychloroquine and chloroquine, and the suppurative therapy. And as pharmacy is a science dealing with drugs, we are supposed to be drug specialists. And drug, as per the WHO definition, is a substance which is used for prevention, mitigation, diagnosis, and cure of. We have to work on all the aspects, We can work on prevention, as particularly Dr. Saraf and Dr. Sureshji had been, accentuating. That we can work on the prevention aspects. Prevention is vaccines. And I would add to the prevention aspect, the protection aspects, the PPE kits, masks, the sanitizers. All these, are to be taken care of in the pharmaceutical industry, doing the pharmaceutical scientists, some who are working in industry, some who are exporting the produce, that's the pharmacists to industry, and some who are in the offering to serve the pharmaceutical profession or industry directly or indirectly. So I being associated with the pharmaceutical industry indirectly for the a lot of pride in sharing that hydroxychloroquine, is a drug sought after. There are only two drugs which have been repurposed for, COVID-19, remdesivir, and before that it was hydroxychloroquine. And hydroxychloroquine, India is considered to be the biggest producer and exporter. Zydus Cadila, IPCA, Mumbai, they are considered to be the leaders, in exporting hydroxychloroquine. And so, you must be knowing about Trump, approaching our Prime Minister for, not, putting an embargo on the export of pharmaceuticals and let the USA take its share of, hydroxychloroquine. And not only India, opened the gates for export to US for hydroxychloroquine and pharmaceuticals in general, but for other countries too. But before that, the government is seeing to it that we are our own self-reliant. The pharmaceutical needs should be sufficient enough to meet the patient needs of our own country. And that's quite intelligible and rational and logical too. And in this regard, besides prevention, we can work on mitigation. As far as prevention is concerned, we have done a lot. And with respect to the protection as well, there are several companies who are not earlier working in the direction of sanitizers, in the direction of preparing masks, in the direction of preparing the PPE kits as well. And they have moved, they have sidetracked to this kind of venture and made the country quite self-reliant. This is commendable. I can share one example of Scott Idle, company, nearby in Bali, where the manufacturers, I think Mr. Sanjeev Agarwal and Vaishali Agarwal, they have been listed by Forbes as one of the saviors of the world in timely producing big production of the sanitizers, and that too at effective and cost-effective kind of propositions. So we have to change our mindset. We have to change our directions of thinking. How can we be, acting as COVID warriors, not only in the pharmaceutical care, as Dr. Goel put up, but in pharmaceutical, so-called pharmaceutical cure. Although there is no curative for the viruses as such, and COVID in particular, but the overall approach would be curative or managerial in nature. So, my dear friends, I know the time limitations, and I know that there are, a galaxy of speakers who are there to, talk to you, including one of our proud alumni, Dr. Lisa Mareddy, who has enlightened many others like us, earlier too, and he's also ready to address you all on various issues related to COVID-19. So my, point of concern is to make you aware about the other aspects which we can take care of, diagnostic aspect. We can prepare the testing kits and the curative factors. With respect to the vaccines, the current scenario is that all vaccine production units who are working on this area, they are knocking at the doors of the pharmaceutical companies in India, like Bharat Serums, that no sooner we get the nod of FDA and other federal agencies, you have to come to the rescue in preparing millions and millions of doses for the populace of not only your country, but of the entire world. And regarding remdesivir, the company which holds the patent that's lead has already approached many pharmaceutical companies, for producing quality products in good numbers, So this is a very positive scenario which we need to encash. And I must lastly to wind up, time and tide spare none, my dear friends. So it all is incumbent on us who would be the rider. Even if you're riding a horse, it all depends on who happens to be the leader. Whether horse is the leader or a rider is the leader, as there is no horse which have been found to be, unrideable, and there is no rider who has not been found to be unthrowable by the horse. So we have to decide whether you are going to ride the horse or it is otherwise, And very, important quote which we normally mention, and which in Swami Vivekananda used to quote of Reinhold, as that God grant me the serenity to accept the things which I cannot, and God grant me the courage to change the things which I can, and oh God, grant me the wisdom to know the difference. So let's know where we can chip in to change the system which we are currently in, and let's know the wisdom. Let's have the courage to change the things which we can, and we must be clairvoyant. We must be wise enough, prudent enough, sagacious enough to know the difference of the things which we can change and which we cannot change. Once again, I appreciate the organizers, RBU, Raibarinder University, and the APTI Punjab branch, and I must thank them for having been invited over here to be amidst stalwarts like Dr. B. Suresh, Dr. Shilendra Sraf, whom I have been meeting personally quite often, but this is an opportunity to meet them over this e-webinar. Wish you all the best for meaningful deliberations at the conference which is going to be set in. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, Dr. Bhoop. Thank you. So now I consider it a great privilege to propose a vote of thanks to all the dignitaries who have witnessed it as a memorable and successful inauguration session. Today, my words are not enough to express the gratitude on behalf of convener and organizing secretary of e-commerce and head University School of Pharmaceutical Science, Rayat-Bahra University, Mohali, and entire fraternity. It is my honor to thank our most prestigious preside over the guest, Honorable Professor B. Suresh Sir, President, Pharmacy Council of India, Pro-Chancellor, JSS Academy of Higher Education Research, Karnataka. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for giving us precious time and share pulse of wisdom, fruitful knowledge for student, faculty, and research scholar. I would like thanks and deep sense of appreciation for the eminent personality chief guest, Professor Shailendra Sraf sir, Vice President of Pharmacy Council of India, Dean Faculty of Technology, former Director Institute of Pharmacy, Ravi Shankar Shukla University, Raipur. Sir, thanks for all the words of wisdom that radiated a source of energy within us. We will ever remain grateful to you, sir. We are grateful to our guest of honor, Professor Raibarinder Singh, former Chairman and Dean University Institute Pharmaceutical Science, Punjab University, Chandigarh, Coordinator, National UGC Center of Excellence, Nano Biomedicine, who grace us with their thought-provoking address that set a perfect platform for all the attendees. Thanks for your kind guidance and energetic speech for all of us. Further, I would like to thank our Honorable Chancellor, Sir, Sardar Gurvinder Singh Bara, worthy Vice Chancellor, Sir, Professor Daljit Singh, Rayat-Bahra University, giving a nice platform and kind guidance for this mega event. Honorable Chancellor, Sir, and Vice Chancellor, Sir, who always stand by us, guide us, lead us, and motivate us. We feel proud and thank you for your kind support and guidance. A big thanks to our collaborator, APTI Punjab official, President Dr. Goel, Vice President Dr. Ashish Baldi sir, and Secretary Dr. Suresh Kumar sir for giving a very nice support and guidance time to time. I heartfelt thanks to our faculty, USPS Rayat-Bahra University, and Mr. Raibarinder Singh, coordinator, and anchors, reporters, Simran Kaur and IT team of Rayat-Bahra, Satish and Pankaj sir, IT team of Rayat-Bahra University. I am fortunate enough to be backed by the team of very motivated, dedicated student committee and volunteer. Big thanks to all of the attendees of the E-Conference for showing the interest and joining the inaugural session and will be part of the conference for today. Sir, I would like to request and all the eminent personality and all participants are in this conference. Sir, we have crossed the more than 1,300 participants already registered, sir. And this conference live on YouTube, official YouTube channel of Rayat-Bahra University and Bahra University, LinkedIn and of Rayat-Bahra University group. And we are crossing more than 1,300 registration. Sir, it is pride moment for us. You are all with us. Thank you very much, sir. Once again, thanks to the Honorable President, sir, Vice President, Pharmacy Council of India, Professor Dhruv, and Honorable Chancellor, Professor Raibarinder Singh, sir, and all other APTI Presidents, sir, all other dignitaries. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Are you audible? Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thanks for your coming here, sir. Thank you.
Gurfateh, what is the next program now?
So, hello, Anji, kindly, sir, Professor. Anji, sir, we are only after vote of thanks and the 12:15, we are going for that sessions. 12:15, Professor Anil Kumar, sir.
Okay,
We will join.
Session.
Oh, kindly, all the participants, I am Nasi, sir, you have already brochure, but still, kindly, all the participants, kindly note down that 12:15, we have the speakers of the scientific sessions. That is the Professor Anil Kumar, former Dean of UIPS, Punjab University, Chandigarh. He will start the session at 12:15. So kindly, all the students kindly join at the 12, 10 minutes before. So kindly mute the button of audio as well as video, kindly. Thank you very much. We will start the session at 12. Right kind at 12. Kindly all the participants join at 12. Thank you very much. Thanks for this. Thanks for it. Any kind of suggestion, any kind of question, please. Yeah. Any kind of suggestions, please.
Link
yes.
Using in a morning.
Kindly, speak loudly, please.
Sir, the link we will use in a morning. Again, we will use the same link at the 12 o'clock.
The link will be same for whole 15 date. Okay. That same link will work.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Dear participants, we will start at 12 and I think the 11:55 we will check that system And at 12 p.m. we will start this program, and we have that very eminent personality speaker, and we will definitely start, and you can join. Kindly request you to mute the audio as well as video. Thank you very much. Thank you.
This conference is no longer being recorded.
Model ke dia, aku jaga lawan dia.
Hello, Gurfateh. Hello. Gurfateh. Hello.
Anil sir, Thakur Gurjeet Singh sir, thank you very much sir. Sir, now you are online. Thank you. Thank you very much sir. Thank you. We are just starting within, sir, kindly 5 minutes. Candidates already arriving. So after 5 minutes or 10 minutes, we will call you kindly. At 12:10, we will start the meeting, sir. Please don't, yes, sir, leave the meeting. Leave the meeting. Dr. Gurjeet Singh, sir, kindly don't. So, dear participants, kindly, sir, now you are on the button. We have the very eminent personality, and we have the scientific session started for the Honorable former Dean and Professor UIPS and Professor Anil Kumar, UIPS, University Chandigarh. And we have that moderator, Professor Thakur Gurjeet Singh, eminent pharmacologist from the Chitkara University. And we will start the session within soon, I think, after 5 minutes. So kindly all candidate request to all kindly mute the video as well as audio other than the speaker as well as the moderator.
सॉरी सर ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਡਿਸਟਰਬ ਕੀਤਾ ਸਰ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਰ ਸਾਡੇ ਤੇ ਸਪੀਡ 1350 ਕਲਾਸ ਚਲੇ ਗਿਆ ਸਰ ਸਾਡੇ ਕਾਨਫਰੰਸ ਦਾ सीटा कोई भी नहीं है सर सारा तो ज्वाइनिंग कर पाए तो बहुत अच्छा होगा
Gurfateh.
Slide is coming, sir.
मेरी आवाज आ रही है? नहीं, मेरी आवाज आ रही है? Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. You are audible, sir.
Okay.
Audible, sir. Within 5 minutes, we will start the session.
Sorry, sir, मैंने ना last वाली गल में सर मुझे लग रहा है कटिया गए मैं सर कह रहा थी कि ये ना सर मेरा भी फर्स्ट टाइम किया था सर कि इन कॉल से ये बोलना है सर किसी ने मना नहीं ये मैं फर्स्ट टाइम किया है कि प्रेसिडेंट वाइस प्रेसिडेंट और जनरल सेक्रेटरी ने मना ये मेरी जिंदगी का फर्स्ट है थैंक यू सर थैंक यू And sir, the next method. Right, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Simran, kindly speak. Simran, talk. Dr. Jesh Gupta. Simran.
Hello.
Hello. Saptesh sir.
गुरफतेह सर, डॉक्टर राजेश गुप्ता बोल रहे हो।
हाँ जी डॉक्टर साहब, क्या हाल है?
जी बढ़िया बढ़िया सर, आप बताइए सर।
ऑनलाइन और उन्होंने भी कह दिया और कितने डॉक्टर साहब उत्थे बधानी हो?
हाँ सर, मैं बधानी सर, बधानी सर।
ठीक है डॉक्टर साहब,
मैसेज कन्वे हो गया ही ते मेरा स्टाफ भी काफी ज्वाइन किया सर। ये ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਵਧੀਆ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ and really fantastic sir, excellent excellent.
Dr. Gupta, thank you. Dr. Sahab, we have already, if you are unable to attend that, क्योंकि यदि सर limited है, तो we have the U link, मतलब YouTube link. ਤੁਸੀਂ you can also share, अगर ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ डॉक्टर साहब नंबर ਤੇ ਮਿਸ का WhatsApp ਕਰੋ ਤਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਸ਼ੇਅਰ ਕਰ ਦੇਣਾ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ।
ਜੀ ਜੀ ਸਰ ਲਿੰਕ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਨਾ ਮਨੋਜ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਹੈ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਭੇਜਤਾ ਹੈ ਸਰ ਇਹਦੇ ਸਾਰੇ YouTube ਦੇ। ਮੈਂ ਫਿਰ ਵੀ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਮੈਂ WhatsApp ਕਰ ਦਿੰਦਾ, ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਸਰ?
ਸਰ ਮੇਰਾ ਨੰਬਰ 92167।
ਇੱਕ ਮਿੰਟ ਸਰ, ਇੱਕ ਮਿੰਟ ਸਰ।
हेलो
हाँ सर बोलो सर। हाँ जी सर बोलो सर।
9167।
यस
नहीं सर, नंबर बोलो सर प्लीज।
92167।
हाँ जी
81466।
81466 ठीक है डॉक्टर सर, करना मैं ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਹੁਣੇ ਮੈਂ ਮੈਸੇਜ ਕਰ ਦਿੰਦਾ।
ਕਾਈਂਡਲੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਵੀ ਹੈ ਸੀ, ਕੀ ਨਾਮ ਲੜਕਾ ਭੰਡਾਰੀ ਸਾਹਿਬ।
ठीक बिल्कुल डॉक्टर साहब ਹੁਣੇ आएंगे।
हेलो
वेरी मच। कौन काइंडली बोलिए प्लीज।
हाँ जी सर, एक गल पूछनी सी अभी लाइक लंच टाइम हो गया है या दोबारा होना है?
नहीं नहीं जी, ये सेशन चलेगा साइंटिफिक अभी, राइट, वी आर ऑलरेडी रेट एंड वी विल स्टार्ट दैट सेशन एंड 12:10 मेरा ख्याल हो गया 2-3 मिनट ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, then it will be around about 1 PM it will be end and after that 2 बजे शुरू होगा जी, दूसरे 1 घंटे की ब्रेक है, राइट?
ओके, और सर कल भी ਇਹੋ ਹੀ टाइम 9 बजे शुरू होना है?
नहीं, कल 9:20 9:20 कल यूएसए तो 9:30 बजे ऑनलाइन होंगे and he is a very eminent personality USA तो डॉक्टर रेड्डी ने, डॉक्टर सांबा रेड्डी is very known scientist and especially will discuss on COVID-19, इस करके कल 9:30 पहला ज्वाइन करिएगा, राइट?
सर मैंने एक गल पूछनी सी, एक्चुअली मैं बैंक जाना है हाले मतलब 20 मिनट ਲਈ, तो अगर सेशन कट होगा इशू फिर?
नो इशू, आप जाना तो जाइए काइंडली।
थैंक यू सो मच, प्रणाम सर।
हरसिमरन काइंडली स्पीक, हरसिमरन कौर, हरसिमरन कौर, हरसिमरन कौर। My voice is audible to all of you?
Yes, Gurfateh, your voice is audible. Yes, Dr. Sir, your voice is audible.
Thank you, thank you. I think Dr. Saab, Dr. Thakur Gurjeet, Professor Saab is already online, and other one,
Yes, sir.
Dr. Paneet.
Yes, sir. Andy, Dr. Sir, good morning.
Welcome.
Good morning,
Dr.
sir.
Saab. Very, very good morning, and I think good afternoon, okay, Dr. Sir. Thank you very much, Dr. Sir.
Good afternoon.
Dr. Sir, welcome to this international e-conference, Pharmaceutical Care and Management Perspective of COVID-19 Pandemic. And Dr. Professor Anil Sir online. Sir, kindly come. Please, you can on the audio as well as the video, sir. Professor Anil Sir and Professor Thakur Gurjeet. Hello.
Gurfateh, I am audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Achha, Gurjeet, you are online, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Police sir is also online. Good afternoon, sir.
Right. Okay.
This conference will now be recorded.
Dr. Gurjeet?
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Are you Anil, sir?
शुरू करते हैं यार, otherwise it will be late ना?
Sir, can we start? Sorry, sir. I think the
Okay.
sir, I am audible, sir. Sir, I am audible. Sir, I am audible.
Yeah.
Sir, thanks. Sir, welcome. Welcome to the Honorable Professor. Welcome to the Honorable. Yeah, Honorable Professor, former Dean Punjab UIPS Punjab University, Chandigarh, Professor Anil Kumar, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Sir is the eminent pharmacologist having the more than 130 publications, and sir having that got the prestigious award like the biomedical and the honors in the biomedical scientist and Bharat Shiksha Ratna Award, IBRO Award, and best paper award from the JCTR. Sir is a very eminent pharmacologist and always guide to all the youngsters and young scientists. And sir already guided me lot of things in this conference. Sir, your contribution is excellent in this international e-conference. And secondly, we have the moderator, very eminent personality, that Thakur Gurjeet Singh, sir. And Professor Thakur Gurjeet Singh from the Chitkara University, and Dr. Saab is from pharmacology background, is having that various publications in the journals as well as the various awards, prestigious award. They got the very various prestigious award. That's a welcome to this sessions, and I request to the Honorable Professor Anil Kumar kindly start the session, and that moderator will be by that Dr. Thakur Gurjeet Singh. And the videos, that audio and video, Professor Anil Kumar as well as the Thakur Gurjeet Singh will be on. And secondly, I think we have that Dr. Puneet Bansal, sir. Welcome to this session, sir. In the first session is
Thank you.
Of this week. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Professor Anil Kumar, sir. Is it audible, sir? Professor Anil, sir. Professor Anil Kumar, sir.
Dr. Gurfateh, your voice is breaking, between.
Okay, now it's clear.
It's clear. I'm
Now
audible
your voice-
or not?
Dr. Thakur Gurjeet, sir.
Yes, sir.
Dr. Gurjeet, sir, kindly, Dr. Saab is you are, I think maybe camera is off.
Yeah.
Now I request to the Anil, sir, please kindly start that session, scientific session, first started by the Professor Anil Kumar, sir, kindly.
Should I start?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Dr. Saab, kindly start. Professor Anil, sir.
Okay, I'll start, right?
Yes, sir. Kindly.
Switch off my camera so that it's easy to notice. So my voice is a little bit, So good afternoon, everybody. So this is my presentation on prevention, control, and management of COVID-19, opportunity and challenges. This is a small presentation that will highlight the opportunities as well as the status of COVID-19, a little bit about the coronavirus. It is basically talk about all journals. And whatever WHO as well as the national authorities, how we can self-prevent the spread, and how preventing communication from one person to other person. What are the challenges on national as well as international challenges to our national as well as the international level, as well as what are the opportunities for our drug pharmaceutical company. This is all about this presentation. So let me start this slide. So I divide my talk in 5 portions. Brief introduction of slides. Gurjeet.
Yes, sir.
It is already moving. The slide is moving kindly.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, somebody has to respond because I'm not able to know whether you are able to listen me or not. Because slide is also not changing.
Yes.
Please.
Yes, sir. Yes,
now
sir.
it's changed. Now second slide is
You are audible, sir.
Okay. Now, so since now I've divided my presentation into different headings. Little bit about first one is the brief introduction. Second one is the prevention and control. I basically covered in this second portion is certain guidelines, which is the WHO guidelines as well as the national guidelines. And in these guidelines, I'll give us the reference so that if anybody want to read out that guidelines, they can refer the source and read more of the guidelines. I'll just give the what guidelines say. Although you all currently COVID is aware that there is no drug is there and is being managed symptomatically, and all the hit and trials methods are being in process. And the fourth portion that is I covered in challenges and opportunity. Now let me start with the introduction, a little bit about the what is coronavirus. You're all aware of coronavirus. Change. Gurjeet, is the slide change?
No, sir. Still first slide is there. A second.
Is it?
Hello, Gurfateh, kindly check the status.
I think it's slow. That is.
Anil sir, slide is not moving.
Anil sir, check your internet connection.
That's how I have already talked. That's how no problem. If the slide is not moving due to internet, kindly speak on and continuously. There is no problem. That's how. Kindly. Voice is not able to kindly start.
Hello.
Hello, Haji Pradesh sir.
Sir, Anil sir voice is not audible. I think he's here.
Yeah, I'm calling. I think maybe there is an internet connection. No issue. My voice is audible to all.
Yeah, your voice is audible, Gurfateh.
Okay. Thank you very much. There is the internet. Maybe some technical problem. I am resolving it. That kindly, Dr.
No problem. Just sort out the problem and then we will start.
We are waiting. Don't worry, we are waiting.
Everybody kindly come stay on the online. There may be the technical issue. This conference that pharmaceutical care management perspective of COVID-19 pandemic that is going on and organized by University School of Pharmaceutical Science, Rayat-Bahra University, and this is the first technical session, scientific session. Maybe some error, but the first technical session is taken by the Honorable Professor Anil Kumar and eminent pharmacologist from UIPS Punjab University and other pharmacologist that moderate the Dr. Gurfateh Singh sir with already the first session. Is it audible, sir? You are listening, Professor Anil Kumar sir? When I have already called to the Professor Anil Kumar, maybe some technical issue within 5 minutes he will come on this session. So my all dear participants, we are already in the first session. That the speaker Professor Anil Kumar and moderate our chairperson Dr. Gurfateh Singh from the Chikara University. And that conference is the very important. You know that the coronavirus is the very big challenge for the society worldwide. So in this case, that's why we are planning this conference about that knowledge and what is the new insight in terms of pharmacological as well as the clinical aspects. And we have the various eminent personality from India as well as abroad. Anil sir? I think Anil sir is coming. Yeah. Question is, yeah.
हो रही है अच्छा ठीक
सर आपकी आवाज क्लियर है सर प्रोफेसर नील सर योर वॉइस इज साउंड ऑडिबल काइंडली स्पीक either if there is a technical problem and you can start the you can start the यार अब हाँ जी नहीं उन्होंने तो ही लो ना मैं क्यों मैं
Okay, I think there's a net issue. First,
no issue. There is a technical, maybe the technical issue. Dr. Saab, they joined the recently, and Dr. Saab is joining. No issue. So, my dear all colleagues and ladies and gentlemen, so we are planning this. Why we plan this conference? Because nowadays the very the pandemic is a very challengeable for all of us. So that we want to share the new ideology in possible pharmaceutical preventive measure perspective global challenge and drug safety assessment role of pharmacy profession and pharmacology view inside the management of COVID-19 pandemic. And the main aim of this international e-conference is to bring together leading physician, academic scientist, pharmacologist, researcher, healthcare professional, pharmaceutical industry via online media, so that we can share kindly mute all delegates. Kindly mute the. I think already joined. Anil sir is already, I think, joined. Kindly, it is request to all, kindly mute the buttons of mic, audio and video. So this delegate, definitely they will understand how the science and technology will work in the drug discovery and drug therapy, pharmaceutical therapy, and possible preventive measures, as well the new challenges in the COVID-19 pandemic. Therefore, we have that various eminent professors from the universities, even clinical from the AIMS New Delhi, that is the professor, they are directly linked and taking care of the COVID-19 patient, professor in the medicine department of AIMS, the PGI pharmacology department, and as well as the universities, academicians and research institute from the government of India, as well as the Medicine University of the Texas, USA. So I think my voice is audible to all of you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
We have the various professors already joined this session. Thank you very much from the Central University Bathinda, from the other University Bathinda, from the institutes, and I think the lot of candidates we have joined. Dr. Thakur Gurjeet Singh and Professor Nil sir. And it is my pleasure to now, Dr. more than 1,300, I think 1,350 students have been registered for this conference. And this session is live broadcasting at the YouTube official of Rayat-Bahra University, as well as Bahra University, and LinkedIn page of Rayat-Bahra University. So there is maybe technical issue. Dr. Nil is already discussing with Dr. Nil sir, and they are already joined maybe some internet problem. So for that part, I think maybe the 2-3 minutes we need more wait for Dr. Anil sir. So it is I think it is a great platform where we can discuss about the COVID-19 pandemic conditions and what is the new insight pharmacological interventions. In this case of you see that in case of management perspectives of COVID-19. It is very, you can see the next session in the second session is a very interesting session. That is in this session, we are totally, this session is based upon, you can see Ayurveda. That is a very important session. Revenging Ayurveda for management of COVID-19. This session will be start at 2 p.m. and we have the Dr. Arun Chandan. So they will take care and they will speak. They are the speakers, Dr. Arun Chandan and V. Chandans. So we have that exclusive Ayurvedic sessions, how can and how it improve our immunity, and how can we use this Ayurveda in the case of management and some measures in the case of COVID-19. So we have that moderator, Dr. Sheesh Baldi from that Bathinda University. And I think it will be totally, and we have that 2-day sessions, Dr. S.S. Sharma from the NIPER, Professor in Pharmacology Department, and Professor Shamsher Singh will be the moderator from the ISF College of Pharmacy, Moga. So it is a great session. All it is request to all kindly join all the session and don't leave the sessions. So
should I start, Gurfateh?
Sir, your voice is audible, sir.
Gurfateh.
Thank you very much, sir. Your voice is audible,
Please,
sir.
Let me allow to speak.
Kindly, doctor.
Yes, okay.
Doctor,
let me start now.
Yes, sir, please.
Okay. So in continuation with my introduction that is I've already covered, it is what this I divide my presentation into 5 topics. Starting with the introduction, the little bit about the coronavirus, you're all aware of. It is now slide, you can see it easily, right? You're all aware of the coronavirus, which is now it's let me start now. So you all aware that the coronavirus is you can see it in this first point, that is it can be says like the 2019 novel coronavirus. WHO also declared it as a COVID-19. It is caused by a virus that is called as SARS-CoV-2, that is severe acute respiratory syndrome CoV-2, and it is currently spread throughout the world. WHO also declared as a pandemic problem, and it was declared in 12th March 2020. You're all aware that it is originated from China, that is city Wuhan, and presently, as per the WHO says, it is spread to 116 countries as on yesterday. As per the WHO report yesterday, up to 42,58,660 confirmed case has been reported throughout the globe, and deaths are 2,94,190. Coronavirus, you all aware, it is a RNA virus. It is a single-stranded spherical shape virus is there, and it is transmitted by 2 ways, either through respiratory droplets or through by touching virus. You all aware the respiratory droplets may be through coughs, sneezing, talks, and you all the different literature says how much droplets can go towards in the air so that it can contaminate or it can transmit the infection. Apart from this, there is a second way of causing transmission is by touching the virus, or you can say that contaminated surfaces by mouth, nose, eyes, hair, object, door, lift, button. There are so many literature there where there is another source of transmission of the virus. Now, if you see that it is also detected, the literature says it is detected in the blood samples, saliva, and mucus. But there is no information about whether it can be detected in the feces or urine samples. You're all aware that the coronavirus enter into the bodies by the ACE2 inhibitors, and it is replicate in the ciliated epitheliums by causing the cellular damage and establish the infections. Currently, it is being diagnosed, or you can say it is tested by a real-time reverse transcription RT-PCR testing procedures, where it gives a confirmatory test about the confirmation of the disease, and it is generally done by taking the nasopharyngeal swabs, sputum, or samples may also be taken from these 2 areas. Now, what is this? Whenever the infection occurs in the humans, there is a symptoms may be ranging from mild to the severe one, and sometimes the patient are not showing any symptoms, or they are called as asymptomatics. The common signs and common symptoms that includes the fevers, dry cough, shortness of breath, fatigues, loss of smell, diarrhea, dyspnea, that is well reported as a common symptoms. However, in some patients, they show pneumonia, severe acute respiratory syndrome, multi-organ failures that may lead to the mortality or lethality to the patients if they have some other comorbid problems. You're all aware it is generally confused. Most of the people, they are generally having confusion that the coronavirus generally cause a common cold influenza like illness or symptoms. So it is very difficult sometimes to differentiate whether it is a normal cough and cold or it's a coronavirus symptoms. So it is sometimes people they confuse. Now there is some tests are there which can also give a confirmatory whether the person is having coronavirus or not. Now with this background, let me come to my main topic, that is the prevention control, what the national or WHO guidelines says about the coronavirus. Now, if you see there are a number of guidelines are available on the net. If you see, I've also note down the source of the guidelines. In the slides, I've given the source also whenever I talk about the particular guidelines. Let me come to the first journal about the how a people can protect yourself from the spread of the disease. We are all well aware of that. We washing the hands, with the alcohol-based sanitizers. Soap and water is one way of protecting ourselves. Distancing is another one.
Yeah.
Or we can also.
Yeah, recommend.
Or we can also.
ना मेरे को था ही नहीं, ना मेरे को जनरल वाला ना दूसरा है, बनवाया ही नहीं है। पिछले बनवाने लगी थी और मेरा गुम गया सारा कुछ। साइंस एंड प्राइवेसी पटवारी दे ही।
So your mic, beta. Namita Sani, switch off your mic. Namita Sani, please. Mic.
Right, sir. Switch off. Kar diya already, sir. Kindly start.
Protect ourselves from the spread of the corona disease. There are so many ways are there. I've just given depicting the different pictures where one can protect and prevent the spread of the disease. Now, what is important is these are all about it. But what the guidelines, if you see the guidelines, most of the guidelines are same, and one guidelines are generally translated from the other guidelines. Most of the guidelines are originated from the WHO guidelines. So if you see the WHO guidelines, they says protect yourself, practice social distancing, and prevent the spread of the disease. There are so many ways that are given there. There is no currently, you all are aware, there is no guide, drug is there, no vaccines is there. So only protection is the best method to control or to prevent the spread of coronavirus. You all aware when we protect ourselves, there are certain things which one has to keep in mind. These are all WHO also recommending several times. But the people, they think it is very simple, but there are so many things one has to keep in mind when we follow the guidelines. You all know that when we protect ourselves, one has to stay home most of the time. If we are staying home, we know virus cannot enter into our house. The one thing is, unless until we'll go out, we cannot invite, virus will not come enter your house unless until you go out. Either second one is, you can protect yourself by using mask. Now I'll come to the guidelines also in the coming subsequent slide. What are the face-related guidelines? People, they are using masks, different types of masks. What is the guideline says? Similarly, third one is the clean and disinfect frequently, touch the surfaces. People, they are using sanitizers, alcohol-based sanitizers are being recommended. Wash hands. There is another guidelines are there regarding the hand sanitizers, or washing of the hand. Guidelines are there. So let me cover also in the subsequent slide how we can follow the guidelines when we wash our hand. Second is the social distancing while buying. When we follow the social distance, grocery, medicines, this all is given in the guidelines. When we follow this, one has to keep a 6 feet distance between home. Other guidelines are there. Finally, we can also prevent the spread of the coronavirus if we are sick. Stay home if you are sick. Avoid public transportation, riding, sharing taxis. Even the now national guidelines are also there. You cannot use the pillow riders. You can use the only 2 people can travel in the car. These are some of the guidelines are there so that we can minimize the spread of the infection. Now, what is important is the same thing is repeating, but the WHO also recommended that the best way to prevent the spread of coronavirus is the frequent hands. Using alcohol-based rubs or soap and water, that is the best method currently being used throughout the world. Second one is cover the nose, mouth with a flex elbow if somebody is coughing or sneezing. People earlier were not aware of how to, they cough or sneeze when they generally do it in the open. So when they do it in open, they spread the infections in the surroundings. Third one is avoid close contact with anyone that has fever or cough. Again, people, they generally take it lightly because in our India, what we do is normal cough and cold, we never treat it as a disease unless until it is caused the severity. So it is very important, avoid close contact with the person who's having a fever or cough. They may have also coronavirus. Now, what is important thing is now comes to the WHO recommendations about the practice of hand hygiene. This is very important and is also challenging. So WHO recommend that when we hand hygiene stations, facilities should be placed. Placed where in the front of entrance of every public, everyone regarding facilities should be provided at the transport location. Even the has to be placed as per the WHO recommendation. Hand sanitization station should be according to the need of the young children's elders. What it means the station should be such so that it can be comfortable for the young people, adult, physically disabled people, so that they can use the hand sanitization stations to clean their hand. Use of public hand sanitization should be compulsory. It is very, very important. Now we are not made any steps that whether it has to be compulsory or not. Although Haryana has made it comment as a recommendation that it has to be law, that one has to use face mask as well as hand sanitization has to be compulsory. WHO also recommended that the use of public hand hygiene station should be compulsory before passing the entrance and exit of any building or any means of public transport. That is very important. Functional hand hygiene station should be available for patient, family members, visitors. So it means those people who are entering the hospitals or any other places must follow the hand hygiene station. Even then, the local production of alcohol-based sanitizers should be strongly encouraged as per the WHO, because some people or some countries, they are poor, economically developed, they do not have so much money. So it may be possible that is what they are encouraging, to make a local production of alcohol-based hand sanitizers or preparation. Healthcare workers should perform hand hygiene using proper technique. Now there is a certain techniques has been recommended by the people or WHOs to do it same. Apart from this, there is some answerability. There is a public health authority and government department is also responsible for installation, supervising and regular filling of this equipment of hand sanitization facility. So that is basically public health authorities as well as government department is responsible for installation. Unless until these facilities are installed, it is difficult to follow the hand hygiene facility. Second one is functionality of the hygiene station is also answerability of the government, so that the government has to see how many hand sanitization can be installed at different places. Apart from this, hand hygiene station is also very important when we use the personal protective equipment, particularly by the hospital officials. So these are some of the recommendations given by WHO regarding the practice of hand hygiene. Now comes to the very important, that is face mask in context of the COVID. Nowadays, Indian government also made it mandatory that every person who is coming out must use the face mask. You're all aware of different types of face mask is available in the market. People, they are using homemade mask also. But what is important thing, even the N95 mask, which is also called as medical mask, they can have only 95% efficiency. Why is 95 efficiency means they can stop 95%. 5% still allowed, It cannot totally 100% block. So it is having an efficiency of 95%. And the people who are using not, even if it is 3 or 4 layer, their efficiency is less than 1%. Now you can imagine that even if you put the homemade mask, it is not sure that you will totally protect yourself from the virus. So what is important against the rationality of mask is basically, because if you know the size of the coronavirus, you can think of what kind of layers or what kind of material you have to use it. Because the size of the virus is very, very less. And different literature says it is in the ranging from 60 to 140 nanometers. The main purpose of the mask is for two things, One is the people who are using medical mask. Medical mask means like N95 is a medical mask for the prevention measure that can limit the spread of COVID-19. Medical mask is generally recommended to the people who are in the healthcare facility. And second one, who having symptoms, that is what the WHO recommend. Everybody does not required to use the medical mask. However, non-medical mask can be used by the other normal people or asymptomatic peoples or normal peoples that will reduce the spread of the infection. Exposure risk can be reduced. Now, what is important thing is there is some myths are there regarding mask. What is myths are there or precaution or alert? You can say also the use of mask alone is not sufficient unless until we follow the other level of protection, such as hand hygiene, social distancing, and other infection preventive control measures are also important along with the mask. Only mask will not serve the purpose. Now, WHO's advice regarding the use of mask in context of the 19. Medical mask. So WHO says medical mask has to be reserved or must be used by the healthcare workers. The person with the symptoms like fever, fatigue, or those who are having a coronavirus symptoms should also use the medical mask, or self-isolate or seek medical advice. If they start feeling unwell, they must use the medical mask and follow the instruction how to put on, take off, and dispose of medical mask is also very important because it is now considered as a biomedical waste. So one has to see that it may also lead to the spread of the infection if it is not properly disposed of. So what the guideline says, the best practice should be followed about how to wear is important, how to remove is important, how to dispose of is also important, along with the hand hygiene after removal. Apart from this, the follow additional preventive measure is also recommended by WHO along with the mask. The people who are asymptomatic, means the person who does not have any infection, must follow the physical distance, social distance, hand hygiene, and avoid touching nose, mouth, and eyes. WHO never recommend that you must use the mask if you are asymptomatic. However, the national authorities or government may take decision. If they want, they can make it mandatory for other people. But there is no rationality is there. But the normal mask can also prevent the contamination from the other people. Now, WHO also made a advice to the decision maker. Decision maker means the government. Decision on the use of mask for the healthy people in the community setting. What it means, the decision maker means the government. So decision maker can make decision based on the following factors, whether the mask has to be allowed or not. It depends upon the purpose of the mask. There are two purposes are there of mask. One is source control, prevention of source control. It means source control used by the infected person. So infected person must use the medical mask, whereas the non-medical mask can be used to prevent the spread of the infection by infection, or it can is basically act as a protective for the healthy people. Second one is the risk of exposure. If there is more risk of exposure is there, then it is mandatory to use the mask, but non-medical mask. So it depends upon the density of population density, cluster versus community transmission. If there is more community transmission, one has to use the mask. It is mandatory. And that is what I think Indian government has also allowed or made it mandatory to use the mask, even if you are coming to the public or in open environment. Individual working in the close contact with the public or community health workers, cashiers, they must use the mask. That is what is recommended. Second one is the people who are having comorbid problems, like who are aged, cardiovascular problems, diabetes problem, or aged people, they must use the mask in order to avoid the contamination. Second one is the setting in which population lives. Like, for example, a Bombay case where there is a Dharavi slum area is there. In such situation, people must use the mask. So it is a factor that it depends upon the population density, so that risk of rapid spread can be prevented. Then the feasibility. Feasibility means the availability of the mask and cost of the mask, tolerability by the individual. So that is what Indian government, even our Prime Minister also recommended that you must use the homemade mask. You're all aware of, these are some of the measures, the people, they said, these are which of the same, how we can prevent the infection, Stay home is the best example. Or if you need to go out, you must use the mask. That is what you can prevent the infection. If you have some difficulty, you must immediately report to the people. Nowadays, people, they are not reporting because of the fear. Or if you have a travel history, you must report to the people so that one can see it, Now, there is another recommendation given by the WHO regarding the infection prevention and control. What is infection prevention and control is one of the important areas recommended by WHO, and different national health agency also adopting the same infection prevention control agencies, or protocol. So what is the guidelines says about the infection prevention control is IPC measures are absolutely essential. These are infection prevention and control are very, very much essential to ensure the healthcare worker to be protected from the infection. As per WHO, a dedicated trained team has to be in place to supported by the national authorities. In country where there is a IPC is suboptimal or limited, partner will support. Other teams or health teams may support to ensure the minimum requirement of IPC. It depends upon the healthcare facility or the infrastructure available. So there has to be infection prevention control committee in place in order to cope up with the COVID situation. Partners should support the national authority to undertake the risk assessment. Nowadays, every country is daily updating their data, how much risk, how much deaths are occurred, how much confirmed cases are there, so that one can know whether we are in the stage 1, 2, 3 or community transmissions, or what are the severity of the problem in our country. Particularly, attention should be given to ensure the IPC compliance with the basic principle is another recommendation given by WHO. It means one has to see whether the IPC measures are there, but whether it is compliant or not is also important. Capacity for early recognition, standard precaution, isolation capacity, referral procedures has to be as per WHO guidance. WHO also given the guidance in this strategic preparedness and response plan. WHO draft document on February 2020 has given these recommendations. It will be important to monitor, analyze feedback of relevant stakeholders, any data on healthcare associated infection in patient or in healthcare. So these are some of the recommendations regarding the infection prevention and control given by WHO. Apart from this, there is the same guidelines which is also adopted by our country also. Now, if you see the National Center for Disease Control Department of the Director General of Health Services, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Government of India, they also adopted the infection prevention control guidelines. They also released in. If you see, you can read out the document of our country, where they put it the objectives of the IPC program is to minimize the risk to the patient, healthcare worker or visitors. The structure of IPC, government has now make a structure how we can make an IPC program. So they said in every hospital there has to be lead or administrator has to be there, who has to be head of this, and well-defined composition has to be there, so that the chairman, secretary, and other members has to be there. Role and responsibility and provide adequate resources to the effective functioning is there. Even in the hospital infection control committee has to be set up as per this healthcare recommendation is. So it says, one has to have a chairperson, secretary, members, and they must have responsibility.
Lalit ke father there.
Apart from this, the role and responsibility, infection control officers, nurse, head, healthcare facilities, microbiology departments, the responsibility of each and every department has been fixed as per the national guidelines of infection prevention and control. Apart from this, there is you all aware of, in every hospital, there is committees are there which generally make a guidelines for the antimicrobial use and management. So every hospital has to make the standard treatment guidelines, restrict the antibiotics, resistance patterns. So they do all prescription studies, audit, so that they can know what kind of drugs are being used and how we can make effective management of the disease. Apart from this, these hospitals team has to be make educational program or strategies so that we can make the assessment or management effectively. So these are the guidelines given by our National Center for Disease Control for this. Apart from this, not only our India but even the US, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention of the US also recommend the same things. They are repeating this. They cover the mouth and nose with a tissue when coughing or sneezing, and proper hand hygiene after cough and sneezing is encouraged. Use of cloth face covering in public settings where social distancing measures are difficult to maintain. These are all the same guidelines are being funded by different agencies of different countries. Not only this, if you see the European Center for Disease Prevention, they are also recommending these face masks should be considered, especially when visiting busy closed spaces or only as a complementary measures. Not strict as compared to the India, I know. In India, we have made it mandatory that everybody has to use the mask when they go out. But in Europe, it is not like that. It is a complementary. Apart from this, the several countries like China, Hong Kong, Spain, they are also recommended that healthy individuals should wear the face mask or cloth face covering at least in certain public settings. That is what they're recommending regarding face mask. Apart from this, there is a role of health workers. Health workers are the people who are working, or they are called as corona warriors, particularly in the hospitals. So there are certain role and responsibility has been given by the different agencies. Now, if you see, the health workers, they are the frontline warriors of the COVID-19 outbreak response. So what the responsibility says, they should assume overall responsibility to ensure that all preventive measures, they must the healthcare workers should be provided all the information, instruction, training, how to use do this infection prevention and control, personal protective equipment, how to use it. And healthcare workers also be advised regarding self-assessment, symptom reporting. So they are giving these different guidelines, how we can act as more responsible. The same thing is translated in terms of responsibility. So when we say responsibility, one for us to follow the established procedures, avoid exposing others, establish reporting procedures, provide accurate information, take off, dispose of personal protective equipments, self-monitoring of the illness. These are all responsibility of the health worker. Unless until the health workers, they take this responsibility, it is very difficult to control the infection. Now, these are all these. The WHO also said the recommendation regarding the global strategy to control and in the prevention of COVID. What is the global strategy? What I have to say is the same thing. Has same guidelines we are also following in India also. So it means mobilize all sector communities of the government in preventing cases through hand hygiene, respiratory acute, individual level physical distancing. It means one has to motivate, encourage all the sectors, communities of the government, as well as the social people, so that we can prevent the cases by hand hygiene, respiratory acute, individual level physical distancing. Second one, we can not only encourage, one has to control the spread of the disease in the cluster or in the community transmission. And these are all the guidelines are given, Why? By rapid finding the tracing of the people, their history, break the chain, tracing, find out the super spreader. These are all there. And not only the control the spread, but also suppress. Suppress means the chances of more infection. The community, if they have infection, it should not be transmitted to the other people. So one has to suppress the community transmission to the other people also. Then reduce the mortality. Although in India, the mortality is less as compared to the other countries, particularly Europe country or Western or developed countries. So we are not in bad situation. We are in very good situation. So reduce the mortality by providing the appropriate clinical care. Then develop the safe and effective vaccines and therapeutics. Right now, every country is in the process of making or developing the drugs. But till now, we are not success. Not only we, but all countries are not success in terms of drugs or vaccines. So main goal of this is to slow down the transmission, and reduce mortality is the main goal to control the COVID. And every country is currently following this. Apart from this, the crucial role of the other as an individual level, community level, government level, and private company level. So their roles are very crucial when or how to prevent, If they are alert, they follow the norms, it's easy to prevent the spread of the infection. Now, these are some of the guidelines that was given in the under the management and control. Now, let me come to the management of the COVID. You all aware there is no drugs are there, you know. You all aware of there is no drugs are there. And principal, can you see the slides? Now, so if you see the present strategies of COVID management, you all aware there is no drug is there, no vaccine is there. So what is the general principle of management is the main part of the government is to manage the COVID-19, is to decrease or delay the epidemic peak, or you can say the flattening the curve by slowing the infection rate. So that is what, if we follow all the normal guidelines for prevention and control, it is easy to decrease or flattening the curve. Second, there is no specific drugs or vaccines for its treatment are available. So currently the patient is being treated by the supportive care, fluid therapy, oxygen support, and other effective supporting to the other vital organs. So presently the patient is being treated with a supporting care. Third one is patients are being treated symptomatically based on the condition of the patient. Sometimes we give the paracetamol to reduce the fever, or other situations are there. So we generally give the mucus thickening agents are given, you know. Apart from this, the extracorporeal membrane oxygenation are also being used to address the issue of respiratory failure, but still under consideration. Personal hygiene and healthy lifestyle diet have been recommended to improve the immunity. So that is what our India also in Ayush has also taken a lead, recommending so many kadhas are there to improve the immunity. Apart from this, even the psychological support is very important to deal with or to make the immune system strong or to make this psychological level. Even the China Health Commission, National Health Commission of China, they also recommended the psychological support has to be given to the people who are in the quarantine phase or in the fear of infection, or where they are put the travel restriction. But in most of the cases, 80% of the cases of the patient, they recover by themselves if they follow the normal, you know, without any special drug treatment. What is important is you must follow the personal hygiene and the social guidelines. Two guidelines are there so that we can recover by themselves, you know. So most of the time, the literature says 80% of the people recover from the disease without needing special treatment. Now, recently, there is not recently in the March, there is a Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Director General of Health Services, EMR Division. They issued the guidelines on the clinical management of COVID-19. This is a protocol that is given to the healthcare workers who are treating the patient in the hospitals. It is basically the guidelines, and the purpose of the guidelines is to take guidelines for the clinicians taking care of the hospitalized adults, pediatric patients for the COVID treatments. And these guidelines generally to strengthen the clinical management of the patient and provide up-to-date guidance. The main aim of this guidelines is to provide the clinician with the interim guidance on timely, effective, safe, supportive management of with the COVID-19. Now, if you see the guidelines of these Indian guidelines, so the COVID patient may be having different kind of infections are there. They are basically the severities are there. The patient may be uncompleted, it may be mild pneumonia, it may be severe pneumonia, it may be acute respiratory distress, it may be sepsis, it may be septic shocks. And these are all conditions are given where different symptoms they are generally used to declare or to assess whether the patient is in which stage of the infection. Now, what is that? The same guidelines also recommend this early supportive therapy. What is early supportive therapy is give this supplemental oxygen therapy immediately to the patient which having a severe acute respiratory infection. Use conservative fluid management. Use empirical and antimicrobial to treat all pathogens like causing severe acute respiratory infection. Do not give the systemic corticosteroids for treatment of viral pneumonia. Close monitor the patient with severe acute respiratory infection. Understand the patient comorbid condition like other problems are there with the patients, and communicate early with the patients and the family regarding the status of the patient. Apart from this, you all aware of there is a specific treatment are given. You know, the Indian government, these same guidelines also recommended the use of the lopinavir, ritonavir combinations, And although they are antiviral drug, there is no drugs, but they are also using the same they recommended. Why? Because there is no current evidence is there from the randomized controlled trial to recommend any specific treatment, but they are using based on their experience. So that is what they use. Even the combination of lopinavir or ritonavir should only be used under certain conditions. What is that? The patient must be given proper informed express consent based on the situation or severity of the patient. So what is the criteria of using lopinavir, ritonavir combination is if the patient is in the hypoxia, hypotension, onset of organ dysfunction, high risk patient is there, then lopinavir, ritonavir has to be used in this combination of 200 milligrams and 50 milligrams, 2 tablets twice a day. And duration has to be 14 days or 7 days depending on after becoming the patient asymptomatic. So Indian guidelines also recommending this, lopinavir, ritonavir, although it is not accurate, but they are giving to so that the patient life can be saved and depend upon the patient to patient. Apart from this, you all aware there's different investigational drugs are there which are being in different phases of development as a cure. Or you all aware, even you can see the same things that is repeated in the Dr. B. Suresh speech also. Different investigational drugs are there, different antiviral drugs are there. US also given different emergency or use authorization of different drugs. Antimalarial drugs are also being used. Cytokines drugs are also being used. Vaccines trials are there. Monoclonal antibodies are there. Plasma therapy trials are all being used. People, they are also using traditional plant-based medicine like Ayush initiatives are there. Even Ayush are also using, trying the trial on Ayush 64 ashwagandha drugs. People also using the home-based remedy. Dietary supplements are also there. So they're all in different phases, but they are giving some prophylactic type kind of, the treatment. Till now, we do not have any drugs. So based on this, what challenges in the COVID-19? So if you see, I made it challenges are in the scenario, in the COVID-19 scenario. We are all aware that there is no specific or selective drugs or vaccines approved for COVID-19. So what is that? All the patients are being treated symptomatic and experience-based. No investigational drug or repurposed drugs are new or repurposed drugs are there. Different phase of development. So it is a big challenge for the pharmaceutical company to develop new drugs. Rate of transmission from human to human is very fast. You all aware. Even it is very difficult to find out the super spreader to break the chain. So it is again a big challenge. Majority of the patients shows or sometimes they are asymptomatic. Difficult task is there to find out the patient, to find out the person who are asymptomatic. To deal with the age population is again a big challenge, particularly the patient who are greater than 65 years or having other complications, comorbid problems. Significant medical economic burden is also a challenge, because government do not have sufficient money to deal to make the infrastructure, health infrastructure. Incomplete understanding of the virus nature, mutation pattern, and new symptoms which are coming every time, new symptoms. Although major symptoms are there, but still we do not know the exact or complete virology of this coronavirus 19. Incompatibility of the diagnosis of each and every patient is also, there is a lack of the testing kits are there. Presently, the random sampling is done in the areas having COVID-19. Sorry. So most of the times, they're having greater chances of community transmission. So it is very difficult. It's again challenge. So we need to have more kits so that we can diagnose